Hey, this is Aaron
This is Spencer.
for the MVP coverage team. We've got our weekly tournament report we're going to do today, so we'll jump right into it. Today's local, we had 24 people. It's a pretty good showing. Last week we had 19, so we had a 5-person increase, so not bad. This was the first week that the Astro Pack was given out, so we had a lot of people excited for it. I was working this week in the shop, and I had 5 or 6 people call to make sure we had them, so people were pretty excited about it.
Actually, some pretty good cards were in there that I didn't think were actually going to be in there, too.
Yeah, I saw the spoiler list, and I was actually pretty surprised. Probably my favorite out of it's going to be the Alti Tsukuyomi.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, Altis Tsukuyomi. I mean, it's a card that people really underestimate this format, mostly because it's a once-a-turn Book of Moon.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those cards that, it used to be busted just because you could combo off with it, but, you can... I played in the sideboard for windups.
Yeah.
Just so for the agent matchup, so I can turn Christia down, or I can run over T-King, stuff like that.
And the fact that if you are running, let's say Lightsworns, put down the Reiko again. There you go. Got a second Reiko.
Not bad. The other hot super out of there is Gen X Undine. I didn't see that coming at all.
They knew what was going to happen to this format, so they just said, okay, we're going to throw in this Undine.
There was actually a delay. It was supposed to come out mid-November, and it got delayed. It got delayed to this week, so I think it might have. I don't know if they had an emergency printing, but Dragon Ice, there was a lot of secrets that they probably, or a lot of reprints that they probably just threw in at the last minute, like Undine and Dragon Ice being 2 of them, for example.
Oh, I didn't even Dragon Ice.
Yeah, Dragon Ice is a common in Astro Pack.
Congratulations, that now is going to go down.
So you had this basically piece of crap secret that was 50 cents to $1. No, it was a little secret, so it was probably $2. Jumps to $30, $40. And you're just gonna slap it back down. It's oh, all right, well, we'll get back to you. See,
here's the comment.
You had fun at the big boy table for a little bit, but all right, back you go.
You're still bad.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. Interesting decks we saw. We had a Dark Horse Rogue deck win our local today. If somebody told me this deck had won the local, I wouldn't have believed them, but I saw it from my own eyes. We promptly got stomped.
We actually both got stomped. We actually both got stomped. Well, I had my grand more than he did, but that's because I'm better than him.
Yeah, nice.
Not really. It was just luck.
Hey, how was that top 8 you made today?
Shut up.
All right. And that deck is not sadly, it's actually pretty cool. It's Hunder.
Yeah.
Hunder rolled in the tournament today.
It beat 2 windups in the finals. Well,
so he gets to the tournament late. So he takes a
penalty.
So he takes a round loss, rolls his next 3 rounds in the tournament of Swiss, makes top 8, beats his top 8 windup matchup, beats what did he play
top 4 Dara.
He played Mermail, and then 2-0'd windups for the finals. Insane. I actually played it. It was me. He played me in top 8, and one of my buddies, Andrew Martin, 2nd place for YCS Philadelphia. Name dropping. But anyway, Andrew comes over. I ask him what this kid's playing. He's like, he's playing Hunter. I'm like, no way. There's no way he's playing Hunter. He goes, yeah, watch out. I thought he was just joking with me. I was like, okay. So we sit down on the match, and he's not doing anything. He's amassing advantage off a Seahorse. We'll get to it a little bit. But he's just getting card advantage every turn while I'm just kind of poking him in with Sengen and Windup Rabbit. I didn't have any combo pieces, so I was just kind of poking him. I get him down to 700. He finally wipes up my last back row, holes, and then just goes off. He goes full on field. OTK'd me. I'm like, what is this deck doing? So
it's dropping bombs.
It's ridiculous. The deck just comes out of nowhere. I thought Windup was the OTK come out of nowhere.
Oh my god.
It just blows you out.
It's just maw, paw, prism.
Yeah, so for people who don't know about the deck, we've got a deck profile that we're posting along with it. So after you get done watching this video, you can go check out the deck tech that we did with Mike. It was Mike Z who was running the deck.
We're not even going to try to pronounce it.
It was Zatoski, whatever. But yeah, the deck's insane. So if you don't know about the deck, the main engine starts with Thunder Seahorse, the new secret out of Abyss Rising. And Thunder Seahorse reads, discard this card to the graveyard.
It's just
discard. Oh, that card's so busted.
Discard this card. It can be banished. It can be to the graveyard. It can be up your opponent's butt.
Yeah. Macro could say, like I made the joke. Macrocosmos could say any card sent to the graveyard would instead be like thrown across the room. Seahorse would still get its effect. So discard Seahorse from your hand. Search your deck for 2 Thunder monsters with 1600 or less attack with the same name. So their opening turn is discard Seahorse, add 2 Maw-Hunter or Paw-Hunters.
Maw-Hunter, Paw-Hunter, Prism, or even Seahorses.
Yeah, there's tons of... the opening turn is they go this Seahorse, get 2 more Seahorses, so they get more mad pluses.
+3 by the end.
At the end, it's like +3, +4. It's ridiculous.
If they wanted to, they actually could use, rechargeable batteries and get back those
horses. In the deck tech we actually saw he played 3 recycling batteries, which is add 2 Thunder monsters.
Which is salvage for Thunder.
Yeah, it's salvage for Thunder type. So we already know how good salvage is. But so they're basically searching out all their Maw-Hunters, Paw-Hunters, and so they're just kind of playing like he played a fairly aggressive back row. It was like double Mirror Force, Solemn, Brigade, Compulses, just to kind of get you off until he can clear out your back row, and then he just goes off. And it starts off with Maw-Hunter and Paw-Hunter. Maw-Hunter says when this card is summoned, or you can normal summon up to once this turn, or you can normal summon it. You can normal summon.
Yeah, you can normal summon another Thunder from your hand.
As long as it's not another Maw-Hunter. As long as it's not the same.
Yeah, except Maw-Hunter.
Yeah, so
you can do Maw-Paw.
Yeah, so you go Maw-Paw into another Maw if you want.
Either a Maw, a Prism, what is it?
Sis. He ran Sis, Prism, any other Thunder. It's got to be a Thunder type. Basically, you're basically getting card advantage off of these Seahorses, and then you're just going bop, 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 bop for free. Like, it's not like you can't special summon this turn or whatever.
Well,
that's the effect off Seahorse.
Yes,
but
Seahorse you can.
That's the restriction on Seahorse.
I'm not sure if it's special summon or conduct your battle phase. I'm not sure.
I think it's special summon. Yeah. But yeah, it's such an out there combo, super hyper aggressive. It literally comes from nowhere. It just blows you out. You see the combo pieces being garnered, and you can deal with them like, I think for the first Paw-Hunter, I had a Valor. The second one, I had a Warning. And he's just keep getting recycling batteries until finally you're just out of resources. I was playing Wind-Up with factories. So I was getting mad pluses.
He just got more pluses than he did.
At one point, I was down to 0 cards. He was up to 7. That's how ridiculous this is. And he just buzzsawed through top 8. And top 8 was no joke today. It's not like it was a ton of scrubs who, just got lucky. Everybody in top 8 had either played at Nationals, got second at a YCS, or topped a regional. Like, everybody was good. And he just 2-0 buzzsaw everybody.
Well, there's one, but they didn't play. But still, he has some experience. But other than that,
he just destroyed. And Mike's a little bit younger. He's not my age, but he's a little bit younger.
He's
still a solid player.
He's 15, 16, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, that deck's insane. So definitely go to our channel and check out the deck tech on that. So you can get a full-on. We go through the deck, we go through the extra side, everything. So if you definitely want to check out that deck, and I advise you to, if not just to have fun at a regional or a local. I don't know the actual viability.
I actually think you could actually top if people actually ran it, because it's one of those decks that people underestimate so bad.
Yeah, you just don't see it coming.
I
feel like an idiot for underestimating it.
With his side, you could beat any deck.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Like, the deck has a hard time dealing with Thunder King, because Game 2 I had an opening Thunder King, and he got desperate to the point where he had summoned an Effect Veiler and attacked, which obviously isn't honest. And I had cited a single Mind Crush among other things, but so he attacks before damage calc. I flip Mind Crush for honest, and he just takes 19 as Valor's dead. I'm pretty sure you would have rather had a Valor to disc than eat 19 damage. Valor red, summon Valor, take 19, and it goes to the graveyard. But yeah, it was a crazy deck. Please check it out.
The sad thing is he still beat you.
Yeah, I still got 2-0 hard. All right, so next 2 decks we're going to talk about is Tell Agents for some reason.
That was my idea. Thank you very much. That's actually what I was running.
Yeah, Spence played Tell Agents today. It's a deck he'd had. Well, you've had what? You've made top.
I've topped two regionals with that deck. One was 30th place and one was 46th place.
No, it's not a top. You mean you qualified? Oh yeah, I won the World Series. Yeah, if I won the World Series,
I didn't tell you I topped. I didn't tell you I topped. I told you I placed, and you took it as I topped.
My bad.
But yes, that deck got me.
Yes, I mean, it's still an invite.
It's still an invite, but the fact that it was, I don't go to tournaments very often, and I really just got into it after, what was it? I was playing Photon Beat before I even played Asians. So
nice deck, bro. But, I mean, so getting more on track back to the deck. So it's basically it's a standard.
It's standard agents.
Agent deck, and then you tech in.
Yeah, with standard agents. And it has the 2 emergency teleports, 2 Psychic Commander, and 1 Crab Balance. Basically, the basis around it was just pretty much spam the one play that I enjoyed the most, which is Daigusto Phoenix and Stardust Dragon. Daigusto Phoenix effect on Stardust Dragon to make it attack twice. And if I do have 4 engrave, I can go into Christia or Hyperion, because that's if I have either one of those, then if they don't have Tragodia or
that's a pretty strong play. So basically, your dream opening is just seeing Telly
one Telly, Venus, and Venus and a Hyperion.
Yeah.
And if you get that, then it's pretty much GG.
That's pretty good. And going to Stardust, so you can you can have the protection from destruction, and then you're free to go into your Krista and Hyperion play. So that's pretty strong. Yep. But other than that, what was your Herald count? You still played a normal like?
I only ran 1 Herald.
How many Daors did you run?
I ran 2.
Okay, well, that's not that bad.
2
That's like the Simon Heath build.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... people will say, oh yeah, Herald's the best, but I really like Valor over Herald. I only really like Herald if I have, 2 engrave and I have a Christie in hand, then I'll do it. Or if I have a dead Christie, then I'll use it. Any other time, I will want my Venus or my Earth, because I don't know what it is, but I will get my Shine Ball if it's all 3 Shine Balls.
Not bad. Alright, the last deck we want to talk about is... obviously Mermail did well, but we want to highlight some of the more rogue decks that did well. And the last one is Chaos Dragon Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
So you know more about that deck than I do.
Yeah, we actually have my buddy in the back here playing one of my other buddies. He was playing Chaos Dragon Ninjas.
So it's Chaos. So it's still like a fairly normal Chaos Dragon.
It's fairly normal Chaos Dragon.
Lila, Raikou.
Yeah, Lila's, Raikou's.
Trooper.
Yep, Trooper. No, I actually don't think he ran Solar Recharge.
Yeah.
But it just had the basic build, the Charge Light Brigade, obviously, and the 3 Pulsars, the Red MD, and one of his pro techs that I actually thought was interesting was the Hanzo and Super Transformation. That's why it's the ninjas.
So basically, it's Chaos Dragons, but you're teching in Hanzo and Super Trans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only really offbeat part of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's still good though. So
yeah, I mean, just boom, bring out Pulsar, or boom, bring out, which I actually thought was interesting, was the what was it? Dark Horse.
Oh yeah.
3,000 attack, and if they activate a spell card, you bring out your Hanzo again, and then get that effect to add another ninja to your hand.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nutty. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so obviously you're only going to play 1 Dark Horse because it's never really a card you ever use.
Yeah, well he really ran 2 just because of the fact that it was another target for his Eclipse Wyverns. He ran 2 Wyverns. But
is there what's the summoning condition on Horus?
There's none.
Alright, so it's just like a normal double sack.
Yep.
Okay.
Normal double sack, no real way to special summon except for that. I mean, there's no condition that it can't be special summoned. So,
yeah. So if it was like,
that is 3,000 attack.
Yeah. I think the correct number is probably 1, just because I don't think I'd use it as an Eclipse target, just because if it's in your hand, you could it's not terrible. I would go for it if I didn't have if my Red Eyes Darkness Metal wasn't in the deck, then I might as well go for that. Just so it's gonna be a plus. So you can use it as a disc for bringing back Pulsar from the grave.
Exactly.
So it's just a plus.
Yeah, it's pretty much a plus. I mean, if he has a Dark Horse in his hand from the Eclipse Wyvern, great. Then he can discard it for his Pulsar and grave.
Yeah.
And then if it does get destroyed, then or a lure, and if he does need it, brings it right back out. Especially if his Red MD is banished, then you still have a 3,000 attack beat stick, because with Pulsar and the regular Chaos Dragons, all you have is Dark Flare and Red MD. And those can get over those. Well, Red MD is a little bit bulky, but the other one can get over by most of the boss monsters in any deck today. But 3,000 attack's pretty bulky.
Well, actually, I think the coolest part of that deck, though, is probably. I mean, you're not going to see it too terribly often outside of like you going into your Hanzo play.
Mm-hmm.
But the Super Trends, isn't that the one where you flip it and then you send a monster on your side of the field and a monster on your opponent's side of the field? That's hot. Like that's removal. That is, and it's a send, correct?
Yep,
so that's always Zen.
And best thing is, it's a cost. So you can't even chain rabbit to it.
Yeah.
Wind up rabbit. The floater, gone.
That's pretty hot. Yeah, so it's just like, all right. Yeah, so it's a removal. Like, if you do that, you're not going to get your Horus because Horus is a higher level.
But you still get your Pulsar or your Dark Flare because it's 5.
Yeah.
And if you really just wanted to get rid of the monster, like the Zen means, you still have the Wyvern in your deck, which is level 4, same as Hanzo.
Yeah, it's basically, it's a removal, like, Hanzo, you summon Hanzo, get your Super Trans set, and then you can just interrupt any, like, if I go Magician, you go Sick Magician.
Yeah,
see ya!
It's like,
Bliggity blam! Here's my dragon. So somewhere Josh is just laughing.
If he even heard that.
Yeah.
But if we have to replay that for him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I didn't get to see it play, but I'll have to check it out next time.
Yeah, we actually have it recorded, so we actually can go back if we want to go back onto the topic of that and then review upon it.
Yeah.
He was in the top 8 too, but he lost to the one player who got second place because of Messenger of Peace.
Yeah, was it won by deck out? Terrible.
Yeah.
All right. I immediately don't care about that.
It was like a 25-minute video of just decking out.
Man, I lost a deck out. Says no one ever. Yeah, so speaking of that, we taped feature matches for every round of our local tournament this week. So if you want to go to our channel, check out all of our feature matches. We'll have them all labeled, and we should have them up about the same time this video.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna do all of them. We're just gonna do probably the ones that
didn't end the deck out.
One that didn't end the deck out or are more excessive than like 25 minutes long.
Yeah, terrible. But yeah, go ahead and check them out. All right, the next thing we want to go on to is Cool Tech. And the first one I bring up, Soul Taker again. I love Soul Taker. Soul Taker did so much work.
Yeah, we had 2 judges here, and they had ruled on Lindy that it didn't get its effect from Soul Taker, but upon further review, it does get its effect.
I mean, it sucks when that happens.
Yeah, because I don't care how Konami works it, it should be just like Light Pulsar and Do Frog and all those other garbage.
The problem was that they try to do the whole problem-solving text was like they wanted to, like the use of semicolons and colons, it was supposed to help people decipher the rulings. But basically the Lindy versus Soul Taker ruling came down to one word, and it was can instead of if. And so it's worded almost like, yeah, it was ridiculous. It basically came down to one word, and we found a ruling online where Kevin Tour's like, hey, sorry we made this terrible. This is actually the correct way. So it came out in the favor. It wasn't,
which pretty much did win him one of his rounds because because the judges ruled that it wouldn't get its effect.
Yeah, we had 2 legit YCS judges here that go to our locals that ruled it that way. So it sucks, but now we all know. I mean that's why we have stuff online.
That's about. And now you guys know too.
Yeah, but Soul Taker is still good.
Soul Taker's still good. I mean, it gets around the Pulsar. That's one thing.
Chaos Dragons aren't as big, but it's still good. Like it's good for those. I like it for the opening turn, like Thunder Kings. I'm just like, all right, kill it. Or Utopia. There's a lot of stuff that I use Soul Taker for. I main deck one-sided too.
Put a face-down monster that can't be destroyed by card effect or something, and then Soul Taker it that way.
Sick Reaper if you're trying to sit on it.
Yeah, or Adrius.
Yep. All right, the next one we want to go into is Royal Decree. There's actually a nice little contingent of the Mermail player base here that are all sideboarding or main decking Royal Decree. And I talked to Brad. Brad was the one that I had talked to. I saw him. We tested a couple of games before the tournament, and he flips his Abyss Sphere like early. I'm like, all right, I had the MST for it to respond, so I'm like, whatever. And then I do stuff. He draws, and then on his upkeep, he flips Decree, and I'm just blown out. Like, I've got 3 live traps. Like, what is this? I mean, what do you think about that? Like, running Decree alongside your Abyss Spheres. Like, because the trap lineup's super low already.
Right.
Like, if it wasn't for the Abyss Spheres, I'd say, oh, Decree all day, whatever. But because your trap Abyss Sphere is so important to that deck. Like,
well,
Brad's thinking was, I activate my Abyss Sphere, and then when I'm ready to go off, I flip Decree.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking is what it is. I'm thinking Sphere is one of those more utility cards that you keep using, along with the fact that you can bait with it. Another thing is you can actually chain it to Royal Decree, and then you can get out your card. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, it doesn't have to. I mean,
sure, it's not like they're trying to run Decree alongside like
that. And when people are running Night Beams against the deck, because if they're dumb, then they're not running Night Beams. Night Beam against the Sphere. But Night Beam Sphere activate Decree, and then boom, they still get their Sphere because it didn't chain to it.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, Decree's in a really good spot right now. Like, it's not so much good against Mermail. Like, okay, you wouldn't bring in Decree. Like,
it's a good tech for Mermail. Since we hammered Mermails last week pretty hard, we're gonna help them a little bit.
Yeah, like Mermail is definitely sitting in its lonely apartment basement, going, "Man, I really hope the MVP coverage team will help me out." No, but I mean, I think Decree's in a great spot. Like, Mermail, or not Mermail, Windup is super popular. I play it almost every week just because it's so good. But it does play a huge, it's a combo deck, so it plays a big controlling back row. And seeing that Decree flipped is just terrible. Like, you're like, well, I really hope I draw that MST. But, you've got that big decks that play that huge back row, Windup, Dino Rabbit.
Windup, Rabbit,
Heroes.
Heroes, Agents, depending on your build. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure my build, I ran about 10 traps, which... They're all good traps. I mean, Bottomless, Solemn Brigade.
But like when Decree's flip, you're just kind of like,
especially when I open all the traps, like
boom. Yeah, it sucks. So Decree's probably a good spot. Next one is Mind Crush. That Hunter deck we were talking about. Mind Crush is pretty good against them. I don't think you need to like start siding heavily for Hunter. Like, oh man, Hunter's gonna be here. Side all my Leeching the Light and Mind Crushes. But it's just in a good spot just for the meta itself because almost every single deck that's tier 1 searches. Like, Mermail, flip Mind Crush all day. Wind Up, Nice Factory, flip Mind Crush all day.
Especially for the Veiler.
Yeah, especially when if your opponent attacks your Thunder King with an Effect Veiler. I'm being honest. I'm not a scientist.
Might be an honest. That they really wanted that light in that grave.
Yeah, he attacked. I just kind of thought, I was like, man. I was like, oh. He really doesn't like that Effect Veiler. I hate you, Effect Veiler. Run you into a Thunder King.
He died at fiery pit of thunder.
Yeah, but like, there's a ton of decks that search and Mind Crush is just legit. The last one I'll talk about is Seal of Orichalcos, which is really surprising. Like, it got a lot of hype just because everybody was excited when it was printed.
Seal of Orichalcos.
But like, everybody kind of got disappointed once they saw the effect. It's like, oh, you can't extra deck Xe Synchro. I can't derp. That thing is still insane though. Like,
oh my god, it is.
Throw it in Malefics. Throw it in Stun.
Oh, if you
throw it in TGs.
If you throw it in Malefics, the Malefic Drain actually might benefit from that card a lot.
Yeah, Malefics, it's like, okay, well, my Malefics will never leave the field due to their revenge effect from the field spell leaving. Like, it's insane.
I mean, especially if you have Stardust along with Seal.
Cyber End Dragon, like, it's all solid. Like,
yeah, I mean, how are you going to get over 3,000 attack monster that you can't destroy the card on the field and you can't destroy the monster?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3,000 attack. How are you going to get over that?
Actually, that may be a deck I may put together later this week. Malefics with Seal. That's not terrible.
Malefic Drain?
Yeah, you run Malefic Drain, and then you just run... Like, always the biggest problem. Okay, you have no problem throwing out this big dude. Like, that's never an option. It's never like, man, I really wish I could go into this 3K guy, but too bad I don't run any. No, the whole entire deck is, like, these big sticks. So the problem is like, running into back row heavy decks.
And if you're smart, you're going to be running T-King, and boom, 2,400 attack T-King. What the fuck's going to get over that?
That may be something to start putting together, or at least take a look into. I mean, obviously, it's not combo-licious, like...
Yeah, it's not going to be combo-licious, but I mean... It's still going to have quite a few plays.
Oh yeah, if you're playing against Malefic, you have to ask yourself, can I deal with a 25 to 3K monster coming out every turn?
That, or if you're running the Malefic Drain, Barbaros, boom, 3,500, which instantly gets over BOS.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. But yeah, Seal.
And you get to choose
Seal's seeing a lot of play in a lot of other decks. Like, you could play Seal in... You can play Seal in any deck that plays a lot of boss monsters from the hand, like Agents.
Hunters, for example.
Hunters would, yeah, definitely. Like
the Hunter deck, if he had Seal of Orichalcos, he could OTK me so long. Because,
yeah, he could.
Boom, 5 monsters.
Each one's doing almost 19 damage, so 19, 19, 19, 19, 19. That's a lot of damage on board.
18, 19.
For very little work.
Yeah.
So there's our deck tech corner. Next, we want to talk about the top 8 this week. Top 8 was 1 Hunter, 2 Windups, 2 Mermail, 1 Bubble Man hero, 1 Dragon Ninja, 1 Agent. So, again, fairly, there's
not Tele-Agents, so they were obviously bad.
Yeah,
but.
so, I mean, it's a lot of variety. It's not like, the old last summer YCS when it was like, 8 Inzektor decks. And
it was like...
Yeah.
Inzectors versus Inzectors in that one.
Or Inzector versus Windup.
That one lone Dino Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was pretty good. Yet again, Inzectors made no showing.
Well, your buddy Drew did.
Yeah, Andrew Martin, second place YCS Philly last year. He decided to play Inzectors and promptly just got trashed. Like, it's not even his fault. It's not like he played bad. He played all good people. He just said that deck will be the bane of him. He can never do good with that deck, no matter if it just won or if it's been like getting its crap.
Honestly, if he probably stacked the deck, it still wouldn't win for him.
Yeah, he'd probably just draw like 4 Gigamantis. We remember putting the 4 in here. But yeah, no Inzectors, not even to be worried about.
They got pretty close against the first match with Darrow in the
Darrow's match. That's what they said. They both won by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, which actually probably would have been a pretty good feature match for the first round.
Yeah, probably. We'll get him next week. So sorry, Andrew. Better luck next time. Moving on, the finals was Windup versus Hunter. Buzzsawed the Windup player. Just wasn't even close.
2-0'd him. Like, Hunter's just derped on him.
So in top 8, the Hunter deck 2-0'd 2 Windup players.
It's pretty hard to derp on one.
Yeah, like at what point does something's up when the Windup player's going, oh, that's busted. Like the guy playing Yada Lock's like, man, that's rough. As he's like poking in for a little bit, you're skipping your draw step. Yeah, so he 2-0'd everybody in top 8. It was ridiculous. So yeah, Hunter is definitely something to keep an eye out. And I feel like we keep pushing Hunter, even though it's a deck that has done nothing except for destroy a local. But there's a lot of potential, so definitely check it out.
There's plenty of potential. That and Watts, which I actually would like to see that build of that in the near future.
That's what I want to see. Like Watts are always one of those just weird kind of.
It's one of those weird decks that will actually work very well with that Thunder Seahorse.
Well, what was it? Watt Draft was always my favorite card.
Yeah,
Watt Draft's like, book you for 1,200 directly. You're not doing anything.
You can't do shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, Hunter's definitely keep an eye out. It's pretty crazy. So the last thing we want to do is talk about the casual deck of the week. This is a new segment we're doing. It's basically just directed at people who want to get interested in Yu-Gi-Oh, but not really sure where to start. And
if you have a really strict budget, if you're
working on a feature,
we understand that people aren't gonna be able to make a $400 Mermail deck.
Well, I remember my first deck was Morphing Jar FTK that I built for like $50.
Yeah.
So, along those lines, we've got Exodia today. So, Exodia is a good starter budget deck for a lot of people who, can't afford, not Megalos and Abyssiers and stuff. So, if you take a look at
Thunder Seahorse, I mean, that's $25 a piece there.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets expensive, kids. That's
card.
Yeah, card. So, with Exodia...
needs to reprint.
Yeah. Shut up. Wave 2.75. It's just a card tin, just card on the cover and card in the tin. Is that what you want?
Yes.
Shut up.
Well, it would hurt me because I actually have a card, but no one wants to buy it.
Ooh. So anyway, casual deck of the week is Exodia. So if you take a look at there are tons of Exodia deck lists online that you can go check a look at on the forums, or if you just Google Exodia deck list. But for the most part, it's fairly cheap. The whole deck is almost all commons. All the Exodia pieces, except the head, are commons. Usually you can get them for like $1 a piece. The head itself is the only expensive card.
Yeah, I'd say the max you could actually really have to spend on it would probably be like $10.
Yeah, for the head, $10 to $15, depending on which rarity. Lowest rarity is probably 10 to 12.
Yeah.
But everything else in the deck is commons. Yeah, it depends on the build.
Yeah, I remember, there's a Dragon build, and then there's actually a really trap-heavy build, which I actually just saw on Dueling Network, which I don't even want to mention that program because it's horrible.
Nice.
Where it just runs a lot of traps and then stalls, and he beat me. I won't lie.
I wouldn't tell people that. I'd say my computer disconnected.
That's how it beat me.
A meteor crashed into my house and I disconnected. He got the win.
Well, no, it was mostly just because of the fact that threatening Rowan Roboku right off the bat, it stalls, and then the chain burn draw engine. Reckless Greed, Yada, Legacy Yada, Jar of Greed, Accumulated Fortune, and then Threatening Roar. I mean,
so instead of burning out your opponent, you're just
he's drawing cards.
Exactly. That's actually not bad. Well, isn't that? I'm pretty sure Jarrell Winston played that at Nationals or not Nationals, Worlds. So yeah, a deck like that, probably $40 or $50 because you're not even investing in an extra deck. So if you're just coming off new to the game and you want to find something super cheap, pick up Exodia. You don't need an extra deck. The side deck can be pretty cheap. So yeah, definitely give that a look. Or even if you're just bored and you're tired of like spamming wind-ups, just check out Exodia and have some fun trolling people at locals.
Yeah, and we'll actually have a build next week because
I got tricked into. Yeah, I lost a bet. And now we're putting Exodia up in one of our profiles.
Yeah, I'll be running that next week.
And he'll be actually playing it. So
thanks to MVP.
I really hope you don't do well, so we don't have to talk about it.
I will top that bitch.
I think that's all we're going to talk about today. So I'm Aaron.
I'm Spencer.
We're signing off for the MVP coverage team.
Your MVP for Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.